Hi guys, we're back with another SCP! You guys seem to really enjoy the last one I did with SCP-096, also known as the Shy Guy. So, we're gonna do another one. Today we're doing SCP-5000! It was requested, so it is going to be done. I'm watching an animation of it by SCP Explained, story and animation, because I couldn't find like a made video of it, like the Shy Guy one, so we're gonna react to this one. I have no idea what it's about. It's called The Suit. That's all I know of it, and I'm really excited to get into this one, so like, yes, as I was saying, anyone I have in these videos, so SCP Explained, make sure you subscribe to them and give them a thumbs up and a like if you haven't. I always want people to give credit to the videos I react to in these, so make sure you do that, or I'm gonna come and find you and SCP y'all ass.
SCP-5000. Gunshots echo down the concrete hallway of Site-22. Screams are the only thing that escape each room. A team of men...
No! Ah! Can someone just like, can you edit over the Wilhelm scream for one of those screams, please? It'll be really quite funny.
In all black combat gear and masks move from one section of the complex to the next. Pietro Wilson hides in his office, listening to the cries for mercy of his colleagues. He shakes uncontrollably with fear. Who are they? He thinks.
What's going on?
Why are they killing everyone? And how did they find us? Moments earlier, Pietro Wilson had been in the canteen eating dinner with other staff members. A group of heavily armed men entered the room. They stood silently surveying the area. One of the scientists stood up and asked if they could assist them. That's when the carnage started. One of the masked men raised his rifle and shot the scientist in the head. Chaos broke out as the other mercenaries raised their weapons and began
my god, it's an SCP canteen
and Pietro was
shoot-off.
lucky not to be struck or trampled as he escaped out the back door of the cafeteria.
They got some nice meal in that cantina. Did you see the lobster pieces? I wouldn't mind working for the SCP Foundation if I got that kind of food.
He ran to his office, slammed the door shut, and hid under his desk. Now he sits on the floor, with his legs pulled up to his chest, shaking uncontrollably.
This animation.
After a couple of minutes, he manages to take a deep breath and slows his heart.
A couple of minutes after a shoot-off, mate, I would be a literal sobbing mess on the floor, tears and piss all around me if that happened to me. So, you know, Pietro's already doing pretty well for himself.
He regains control of his body, but is still filled with fear and adrenaline. Pietro crawls on his belly to his office door. He reaches up and pulls down on the handle. There's a slight click as the latch releases. He opens the door just a crack and peers out into the hallway. The flickering emergency lights
Wait, so where's the SCP
for a
though?
few seconds at a time before plunging it back into darkness.
Are the soldiers the SCP?
But from around the corner, flashes of light from machine gun fire flickers down the hall. The screams of the workers at Site-22 are silenced. Pietro takes a deep breath and pushes the door.
How many sites are there, I wonder? I'm guessing there's different sites for different SCPs. I'll need to look into the sites.
Door open further. He crawls out of his office and starts moving away from the violence. Unfortunately, to get away from the mayhem, he must go deeper into the bowels of Site-22. The exit is the other way, but he is too scared to head towards the armed men. He stands up and brushes the dirt from his blue technician jumpsuit. The lights flicker off. The hallway goes dark. He reaches out his hands and comes into contact with the cool, damp wall.
Okay, so I'm a little confused so far in this video. So I'm guessing it's going to explain more because we're only 10 minutes in, but so the suit, is that to do with the armed men or is it to do with what he's wearing? Maybe the armed men are attacking because they're trying to get his suit and he's wearing the suit perhaps? That might be a thing. I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to keep watching.
He feels his way down the corridor, swimming in darkness.
Swimming in darkness.
The lights flicker back on.
Odd
Pietro
description
looks over his shoulder to make sure he is still in the clear. Standing at the end of the hall
oh
is a
no!
soldier dressed
Run,
in
Pietro,
black,
run!
mask covering his face. The soldier stands motionless. Pietro turns to face the soldier. His eyes open wide. His heart races. He can't
Pietro's
breathe.
gonna die.
The figure doesn't move. Then the lights flicker out again, and Pietro pushes off the wall and runs, blind in the darkness. He sprints as fast as he can when suddenly there's a loud crack.
I too fist my way through the darkness when I'm trying to escape danger. Don't worry about it, Pietro.
And a bullet whizzes by his head. He can feel
no one's gonna get me if I punch.
His cheek. He continues to run. The lights flicker back on. He peers over his shoulder.
Don't
now
do
there
it.
is an entire group of armed men pursuing him
God.
down the hallway, guns raised. He
Why
turns
do
the
they
corner
want
of the hallway and
Pietro?
proceeds down a set of stairs further into Site
Run!
22. At the
Run,
bottom
dude,
of the stairway,
run!
there is a short corridor with a door at the end
Oh,
of it.
he's gonna
There's
die.
nowhere else to go. He pulls a key card out of his pocket and fumbles it. The card falls to the ground.
Of course they do,
Pietro
always.
bends down to pick it up, and as he
Cliché.
leans over, a bullet whizzes past where his head had just been. The projectile embeds itself into the metal door. He scoops his keycard up off the ground and shoves it against the scanner. The door unlocks, and he dashes into the room. He quickly turns and
no.
shuts the door. It locks
Pietro's gonna
automatically.
die.
The last thing he sees is the assassins running towards the door. The lights flicker on in the room where Pietro stands. The room has only one door, no windows and no vents. It is completely
trapped.
isolated. In the middle of the
Oh.
room is SCP-5000.
Oh, that's the SCP. So the soldiers had nothing to do with the SCP. So these are just random soldiers that are attacking the SCP Foundation Site 22. And he has tried to evade them, and in evading them, he's run into an SCP, which is now the suit. Okay. Why are they attacking though? That's the question.
He knew there was an SCP in this room that was designated SCP-5000, but he never knew what it actually was.
Crazy
Here he is
Joe.
now, staring at it. A strange-looking mechanical harness hanging
see
in the
you.
middle of the room. Suddenly, loud banging at the door fills the room. The armed men are trying to break in. It is only a matter of time before they pry the door open. With nowhere to go, Pietro Wilson knows that he is dead. He looks at SCP-5000 and shakes his head.
Put it
What do
on.
I have to
Put the
lose?
suit on.
He
Put
says
the
out
suit
loud.
on.
Only
Kill them
your
all.
life. A voice
Put
in
it
his
on.
head responds. He walks over to SCP-5000
Put it on.
and pulls it down from where
Hell
it is
yeah.
hanging. It is
Hell
heavy.
yeah.
On the
Put it
mechanical
on.
suit are symbols he does not recognize. The only thing he knows about the suit are rumors he's heard from others who work at Site 22. Supposedly, it first appeared in a flash of light in the containment chamber of a Keter-level SCP at Site 62C.
Oh, that's
the
dangerous.
designation of this Keter was SCP-579. The only other thing that Pietro knows is that everyone at Site 62C was slaughtered when containment was breached. SCP-5000 was found deactivated next to a pile of bodies. He slips on the
Oh.
harness, and as if it has a life of its own, SCP-5000 begins to adjust itself to the exact dimensions of his body. The suit grows and snakes across his skin, wrapping
Man, I
every
wish my clothes
appendage
did
in
that.
armor. Then it begins to tighten. Pietro
Oh.
Wilson starts to scream as SCP-5000.
Okay, I wish clothes didn't do
The
that.
suit
Oh gosh.
rises up the back of his neck and encases his entire head.
Oh,
silencing
no.
his screams.
It's taken
The
over his
door to the room
body.
blasts open from a controlled explosion. As the
Okay,
dust and
maybe
smoke
I don't
settles,
want my
the
clothes
masked
to do
men
that.
enter the room. Their flashlights move from side to side as they search for the elusive technician who had just entered. There is no
It
one
goes
in the room.
invisible.
All that is there is an empty rack in the middle of the chamber. The men
Oh,
fan
no.
out, but there is no other exit. The room is just a solid square of concrete. They're baffled. Where did
He's
he go?
phased.
One of them shouts. Pietro Wilson had blacked out from the pain of the suit attaching to his body. He comes to, still standing in the middle of the room. All around him are men in black combat gear. They are searching for him. He holds his breath and closes his eyes, but the gunshots never come. He opens one of his eyes and looks
He's
around.
invisible.
Why haven't they killed me yet? He thinks. He slowly turns his head as men walk by him with their guns raised. He hears someone say, "Where did he go?" "I'm right here," he thinks. "Am I dead?" Pietro looks down to see that his entire body is contained within SCP-5000. He lifts his hand and waves it in front of his face. He is still clearly alive, but it seems as if the killers can't see him.
So it's like a
He
super
walks up to one
defensive
of the
suit?
mercenaries and waves his hand in front of the man's face. There is no
Yoo-hoo!
reaction. The suit made me invisible, he thinks. Pietro looks at one of the men to see if he can find out who they are and why they have killed everyone at the base. On the sleeve of the man's jacket are the words Zeta-19. He's never heard of Zeta-19 before, but they must be part of an
Zeta-19.
organization that is trying to undermine the SCP.
You know what? Maybe we should do a video on Zeta-19 so we can learn more about them. What do you guys think?
Foundation. The men
Kill them
continue
all!
to search the empty room, clearly confused as to where the technician went. Pietro weaves his way through the group of men and back out the door he had entered from. On his way through the wreckage that used to be a door, Pietro Wilson trips on some debris. He reaches out to steady himself, but he is falling. He closes his eyes, knowing that as soon as he hits the ground, all of the men hunting him will be alerted by the sound of his fall.
Pietro's
But the
very
impact
clever.
never comes. When Pietro opens his eyes, it is as if he is hovering just above the ground. He looks down at his feet. The toes of the suit are firmly planted on the floor, like powerful magnets on iron. SCP-5000 has prevented his fall and is holding him in place using the feet of the suit only. He
Okay,
reaches
that's
out his
pretty
hand
cool.
and gently places it on the ground. He pushes himself up to a standing
This
position.
SCP doesn't
He
seem so
turns to
bad.
look back into the room. The men are still in there searching for him. Pietro makes his way back through Site-22. He walks by his office and proceeds towards the exit of the facility. As he passes the labs and other rooms at Site-22, all he finds is carnage. Everyone has been killed. An extra bullet has been placed in each person's head to make sure.
Double tap, smart idea.
It seems that the only mission these men were on was to kill everyone and make
But
sure
why
they
though?
stayed
What did the...
dead. He continues towards the exit of Site-22.
These guys are the ones in
escorted by
charge.
two
Killing
men.
them isn't gonna
As he
solve
approaches
anything.
the two heavily armed men, Pietro makes sure to be as quiet as possible.
Just kill
This
them.
is not a difficult
Just
task,
bop 'em on the
as
brain,
SCP-5000
Pietro.
has given him stealth capabilities. He notices that even his footsteps aren't giving off any sound. It is almost as if the suit is allowing him to glide across the floor. He is almost
That's
to the
pretty
exit.
cool.
Then he will be home free. He takes a deep breath, turns sideways, and squeezes past the two men guarding the doorway.
Just kill
Just
them.
as he is about to leave this nightmare behind, one of the guards turns unexpectedly. The man's shoulder runs directly into Pietro Wilson, throwing him off balance. He is knocked into the second guard. Both of the men scream, "What is that?" One of them shouts. They begin to raise their guns on the invisible
was so much of a
object that
shout.
just bumped into them. It's then that SCP-5000 takes over Pietro's body. The suit raises his arm and grabs one of the men by the throat.
Kill them!
With a
Kill
squeeze, the
them!
man's larynx is instantly crushed. Then the
Oh.
suit twists slightly and snaps the man's neck. It turns to face the second man. Even the black mask the man is wearing can't hide the look of terror on his face. But Pietro has no control over what SCP-5000 is doing. He has never killed before. The suit
Well, you
launches
have
Pietro's
now,
body
Pietro.
into the second man, pinning him against the wall. It then grabs the top of the mercenary's head and slams it against the concrete.
Oh.
Again and again and again.
Oh my
until
God.
The man's screams are silenced.
Okay.
The suit lets go of the man, and his lifeless body slides to the ground as Pietro backs out. When he regains consciousness, he's outside of Site-22, standing on top of a hill, looking down at the facility below. He looks at his hands, then at the rest of his body.
He's covered in
He's
blood,
still
isn't he?
contained within
Oh, no, okay.
SCP-5000. There is a flash of light, and a heads-up display comes on. He doesn't recognize any of the symbols, but as his eyes move from one area of the screen to the next, the symbols become highlighted. Before his
Oh.
eyes, certain symbols begin to translate into words he can read. One of the symbols now says, "Journal entry." Unsure of what else to
Oh.
do, Pietro begins recounting what happened to him at Site-22. He makes his way through the desert towards the nearest SCP Foundation safe house.
Wait.
He knows once there, he'll be able to reach out to his superiors for help and further
Aren't they just gonna
orders.
trap him, though?
Maybe he can even find a way to get SCP-5000 to release him. As he trudges along, Pietro Wilson notices that his brain is telling him he is thirsty, but the vitals on the suit's heads-up display say that he is in good health. In fact, he is better than good. His vitals are all perfect. The suit seems to be giving him all the nutrients his body needs. It has even
How, though?
fixed his busted knee that was injured back in college playing football. The
Oh,
joint
God.
itself has somehow been healed. Pietro
Ooh.
finally reaches the safe
Okay.
house.
Wait. So this suit. Hang on. Sorry, I was getting a bit too into the video. I forgot to pause. So let me get this right. So the suit will encapsulate people basically, and it isn't violent until violence is thrust upon it, so to speak. And it also keeps you in perfect health. I really like the little red light. Sorry, I keep thinking it's like blush. I mean, this doesn't sound like such a bad SCP. This sounds like pretty cool armor, if you ask me. I wouldn't mind it. Is it going to kill him or something? Oh, no. I don't... There's going to be a bad ending, though, isn't there?
Opens the door. It is quiet and dusty. It looks as
Okay.
if no one has been there in years. He walks over to the
probably an
communication
abandoned
station
one.
and tries to contact the Foundation, but all he gets is static. He gives up and walks over to the TV. He pushes the on button. The screen hisses to life. What he sees causes his jaw to drop.
There's a world
The
war. What?
is at war.
Wait,
A war
what?
between humans and monsters. Whatever happened at
That's
Site-22
085,
also happened at other Foundation sites. The
Wait.
SCPs have been let loose.
What? Wait, what? I'm so confused. Oh no. Wait, was that to do with SCP? Did SCP-5000 release them? Oh, I kind of want to watch another video now. Hang on a minute. Let me get this straight. So SCP-5, so Site-22 was attacked by the Zeta 19 Corporation. And so to survive, he got into a SCP-5000, the suit. But as he blacked out, something must have happened, because between him blacking out and him progressing to the next area, somehow all the SCPs have gotten let loose. Oh my god, did SCP-5000 release them? I kind of want to watch another video. We're going to have to wait to another... We're going to have to do another video on this, guys. Okay. So that's going to be it for this episode. Let me know if you want me to watch the next SCP-5000. I kind of want to watch it myself, so I hope you guys want to, and then we can get that up as well. I think I'm going to watch this video as the next one, okay? And yeah, thank you so much for watching this one, guys. My brain is all over the place right now. I have no idea. I have no idea what's just happened, but I really want to know. But yeah, so let me know if you want to watch the next one. Do all the like and subscribe and all that shit. Make sure you subscribe to SCP Explained if you haven't. Like all his stuff as well. And I'll see you at the next episode. I kind of want to carry on with this story of Pietro and SCP-5000. I'm super excited for it now. So yeah, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.